Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk video. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the Georgia Guidestones and the New World Order. Let's get right into it. On this channel, I've often spoken about the plans for the New World Order that are unfolding in front of our very faces. These plans for a New World Order have existed for centuries, and now it sadly seems we're finally going to see them in action. Those who run our world have been planning for a world without most of us in it, a world they're able to fully control. The goal of the New World Order is to establish a one-world government with a global currency ruled by the Masonic Order. As many of you already know, we already have what can be considered a one-world currency with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency can be used globally as it is accepted in many parts of the world. There's a reason crypto hasn't been challenged by the government, as it has always been a part of their plans for the New World Order. In order to establish a New World Order, the old order of life has to be destroyed. In my opinion, what happened in 2020 was the beginning of the end of the old order of life and the start of a new one. Those who run our world have been telling us about the arrival of the New World Order for about 40 years. They have been conditioning us into accepting this New World Order. In the 1990s, President George Bush Sr. openly announced that we are arriving at the New World Order.
This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
As you heard for yourself, President Bush openly states that this is an historic moment. He speaks on how they have made great progress. He mentions the New World Order and makes the promise that it will be established. In the 90s, most people that heard this speech most likely didn't think much of it. It might have just sounded like political talk to them. In reality, those who run the world have been openly telling the people what is coming, but they try to make it look like a positive thing. Just recently, Joe Biden announced that we have arrived at the New World Order.
I believe in the world economy, not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. Now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. Now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it.
As you heard for yourself, President Biden openly states things are shifting and that there's going to be a new world order. It can't be more open than this. Biden announced the beginning of the New World Order, and if you take a look around, you can see it for yourself. Now when we look at George Bush's speech about them being in a historic moment and promising that the New World Order will be established, you start to understand how the Masons like to operate. They love to show us their plans, making them look like they're going to benefit us and improve our world. This way the masses won't ever show any resistance. Recently, the Georgia Guidestones have been in the news as they were demolished after one of the pillars were destroyed. The Georgia Guidestones, just like President Bush and President Biden, were another way the Masons chose to tell the world what is soon to come. In my last video I did on Beyonce, I briefly spoke about the Georgia Guidestones, but for those that didn't watch that video, let me tell you what the Georgia Guidestones are. The Georgia Guidestones, for those that don't know, are a granite monument that were placed in Elbert County, Georgia in the year 1980. The monument was founded by a man going by the alias Robert C. Christian and a group of other 20 undisclosed Americans. To this day, no one knows who actually paid for the creation of the Guidestones. The reason for the creation of the Guidestones were never established either. The company that took on the job of building the stones claimed that the man who paid for the stones to get built stated he represented a group of people who have been planning the Guidestones for over 20 years. On the stones, there's a set of 10 guidelines in 8 different languages for what they called the Age of Reason. On the Georgia Guidestones, it states, "Let these be the Guidestones to the Age of Reason." The Guidestones are: 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 2. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3. Unite humanity with a living new language. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. 10. Be not a cancer on earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Now let's go over some of these guidelines on the stones that clearly show its connection to the New World Order. The first guideline, and possibly the most disturbing, is to maintain the population of the entire world under 500 million. Considering the global population as of 2020 is in the upper end of 7 billion, that would mean in this new age of reason that the Guidestones are referring to, most of the population doesn't even exist anymore. This also means that in the new age of reason, the population growth would need to be well controlled. Now, it is well documented that the New World Order requires a smaller population so that it will make it easier for the Masons to have total control. If the world's population is reduced by what the Guidestones suggest, the world will be basically empty. If they spread 500 million people across the entire world, there would be endless amounts of space. The second guideline is to guide reproduction wisely, clearly letting the world know that in this age of reason, they would control the amount of people being born and who is allowed to be born. This is assuring that they get to handpick who gets to populate the world by genetics, allowing only people who they want to exist to populate the world. Just with the first two guidelines, you can start to see what kind of world this age of reason will create. The third Guidestone is to unite humanity with one living universal language. This points directly to a one-world government that is expected in the new Masonic world. They would need one language for their one-world government. This is why the Guidestones state they need to keep the population under 500 million. This way it will be easier to enforce their plans onto the world. We see them mention that they want to rule passion faith with tempered reason. This means they want to control what humanity would worship and live for. This is once again pointing to the new Masonic world that would be forced to worship the Masonic order. The next guideline we need to look at is the one that states to let all nations rule eternally, resolving external disputes in a world court. This guideline once again points to a one-world government. As you can see, openly, the Guidestones have been telling us what the New World Order is going to look like. These plans have been right in the open for over 40 years. Many people think the Guidestones were built to show as a sign of what needs to happen for the New World Order to start, but this isn't the case. The Guidestones were created to rebuild the world for the Age of Reason. They are the Guidestones for the new Masonic world once the old order is fully ended. These Guidestones are letting us know what the future is going to look like, a future that doesn't seem to have many of us in it. Now, I know many of you want me to talk about what happened to the Georgia Guidestones on July 6th. From what I am seeing, in my opinion, I believe this was purposely done by the same people who had it built. Not too long ago, I saw an article posted by this website claiming that a politician by the name of Candace Taylor was running for governor of Georgia and was making the promise of demolishing the Guidestones as she claimed they were satanic. She also made the claims that the Guidestones were used for sacrifices and that we had arrived at the New World Order. You guys already know how I feel about politicians. I can't really trust them. I feel that the Masons love creating controlled opposition in order to create controlled tension. I believe this happening to the Guidestones was done with a sinister purpose. To me, it almost seems like an announcement. The fact that we saw this politician speaking about this very thing not long before it happened raises a big red flag to me. Everything that is happening right now is painting a clear picture to me of what is coming. We saw Beyonce showing the 4 horsemen, something she strategically started doing in 2020. Beyonce showing herself riding the 4th horseman close to when the Guidestones were demolished and CERN would be attempting to find other dimensions with their collider clearly shows that something is unfolding. Even Kendrick depicting himself as Jesus, which I interpret as him representing the arrival of the Antichrist, connects with all of this. These are all biblical references to the end times, which I believe the Masons are using to mark the end of the old order of life so they may soon start to rebuild for the Age of Reason. We as God's people have nothing to be afraid of. Now in our times, it's most important to put our lives in God's hands and try to improve ourselves the best way we can to better serve God. Nothing the Masons can do can prevent God from protecting his people. This is why I believe I am able to even have a platform and spread the truth. Every night I pray to God, asking him to guide me so that I may better serve him. I believe he has allowed me to help many of his people who were blinded to see the truth. We have nothing to be afraid of. The only thing we need to worry about is those that still haven't seen the truth. We need them to open their eyes so they too can be protected. We are living through a transitional period and we are seeing the changes happening right in our faces. The Georgia Guidestones being demolished to me just seems like part of their plan, a symbol of what has to happen to this order of life in order to bring in the Age of Reason. I can't say that I am surprised, as we have been warned about this for decades, with most people not really paying any attention to the signs. The presidents told us this day was coming, and sadly, it seems to have come sooner than expected. We must remember to protect our souls in these strange times. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just want to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. Thank you so much for all your support. If you would like to further support the channel, join the channel below by hitting the join button. Or you can join me on Patreon, the link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by buying a Truth Is shirt. If you would like a Truth Is shirt, email me at thetruthis211@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram at thetruthis01. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at thetruthis01 and on TikTok at thetruthis. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.